The much talked about amnesty for Boko Haram insurgents has been generating different reactions from Nigerians. While some say the amnesty may help achieve peace in the troubled northeast, others say granting amnesty to Boko Haram may give a wrong impression that government condones armed agitation. Our correspondents in this next report spoke to a cross-section of Nigerians on the issue.
It is one issue that Nigerians are sharply divided about: amnesty for Boko Haram, to be or not to be. The northeast of the country has witnessed killings, kidnappings, rape and destruction of homes. Many businesses have crumbled, while thousands have been condemned to IDP camps, courtesy of Boko Haram. To achieve peace in the region and get all kidnapped persons released, including the remaining Chibok girls, government is granting amnesty to insurgents who are willing to lay down arms and embrace peace. This move, however, has been rejected by some, while others think it is a good idea.
When it comes to ensuring peace, no price should be too much to ensure peace in Nigeria or anywhere in the world. And that is why you see, despite the World War I, World War II, people still sit around the round table to sort some issues out. And that is the essence of real peace. I know how, in as much as painful as it may be today, that to now hear that the Boko Haram that have killed thousands, destroys billions of properties, the federal government is thinking of granting them amnesty. Why should it be? I want us to cast our mind back to some years back during the regime of late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. After seeing that there will be a way, the only way to ensure peace in Niger Delta is to grant amnesty to the militants, that is the freedom fighters. The same way we have hues and cries, some supporting his move and some against it. But at the end of the day, to some, whatever you call it today, we have relative peace in Niger Delta.
I think this government is a bit confused. You do not grant amnesty to people who have a manifest agenda to seize your country, to seize territory. When you talk about an amnesty for Boko Haram, for example, these are people who are determined to seize part of Nigeria, hoisting their flags, seizing citizens, kidnapping, abducting, and forcefully converting citizens to a certain religion. And then you tell them you are granting amnesty. To me, that presupposes that they have defeated the Nigerian armed forces, which is presumed to be one of the strongest in Africa.
In granting amnesty to Boko Haram, some Nigerians are concerned about which faction would be granted amnesty and if all the factions will accept to drop their arms. Thus, the people want government to consider very well before extending the olive branch to the insurgents.
I'm not against talking to Boko Haram. I'm not against signing peace agreement with them. I might not even not be against amnesty, but I want to be sure that it's the Boko Haram that captures all the groups, not just Chekau group or another group or that. So I'm not against amnesty really, but if there will be peace after the discussion, and if it will lead to the kind of society where the Northeast will now have peace and there will not be bombings and all that again, well, I'll support it.
I mean, being an advocate of the stick and carrots approach, I would naturally be inclined to want to support that move. But on a second note, when you compare the Niger Delta situation with Boko Haram situation, one is pure terrorism. The second one was an agitation. And I dare say that agitation was not unfounded for the Niger Delta. But for Boko Haram, it was more an ideological battle, which is still on today, and founded with terrorism. So there's no basis for granting a terrorist amnesty. someone who has taken life based on an ideology, and you want to compare it with someone who has a legitimate agitation.
Everyone agrees peace is important in the northeast of the country, especially as the 2019 general elections draw near. But how to achieve this peace with Boko Haram threatening to cause more havoc is the question the Nigerian government needs to answer urgently.
If you say, okay, they have killed so many people, are you saying that we should continue on that line of thought because you don't want to stop discussing with them? If it will bring peace to Nigeria, if it will bring harmony, it will bring unity, why not? Because you can't just stay on that line that, okay, we don't want to discuss with anybody, let's go on the field and fight. This is not a war that anybody can win. This is not a war that is the kind of war that the military understands. This is a war that you don't even know who the enemy is. So if the enemy finally agrees to come and discuss with you and it will bring peace, why not?
Boko Haram has no agitation there. They have no legitimate agitation. What is the legitimacy of the agitation? You are trying to legitimize killing. Whereas, in comparison to the Niger Delta, these are people that their environment is being degraded. Their environment, their immediate surroundings, they are not being catered to in comparison to the resources that is drilled from their land. What are the resources Boko Haram are agitating for? By the way, let me even ask a question. If you give someone amnesty, you need to pay them. Where are you going to get the money from? The money that was used to pay for amnesty for the Niger Delta was sourced from their land. Are you going to take money from the Niger Delta to go and pay for amnesty for Boko Haram? It doesn't make sense to me.
We may be seen from another angle, but just put yourself in one of them, particularly if you have lost a son, a daughter before, then you understand what I'm trying to say. And nobody will want such thing to continue. And I believe that there should be no thing should be too big to ensure that we settle this Boko Haram crisis. So I want to commend the president to go ahead with it, if and only if that one will ensure peace. But if it will be the other way around, if we will not achieve the peace, then I think Nigerians should think of another thing to do. So if amnesty will help us, we ensure that peace, we ensure that we will see this locusts again, then I think Nigeria, no matter how painful it is, we must accept it. And we must encourage the president.
Nigerians want government to put in more intelligence and surveillance work to determine if the amnesty step will bring about relative peace in the north, as experienced with the Niger Delta militants.